Wednesday, Wisdom Tree Trail ambassador on the Wisdom Tree Trail at the Wisdom Tree. See all the wisdom coming out? I had a conversation with somebody I've known a very long time. I mean, a long time last night. And they didn't surprise me. I knew they were sort of pro-Trump. But this thing about lawlessness in our country, and that the problem is lawlessness and Trump is taking care of that. And the example of the lawlessness is that Kamala Harris was selected to be the Democratic nominee after Joe Biden dropped out, after all the primaries were done, that they had just anointed her and there was no vote by the Democratic Party to make her the candidate. And that's all of a sudden the lead example from the Trump sycophants of why there's lawlessness in this country, in addition to people who have tattoos that may be a gang tattoo or not. And this is why we have to suspend the Fifth Amendment and habeas corpus in order to get things back under control, because it's completely out of control, because it's lawless, and the Democrats are the headliners of lawlessness because they had Kamala become their candidate without voting for him. Well, one, that's misinformation. That's wrong. There was a vote. I don't know what everybody expected to do when Biden dropped out after all the primaries were over and the convention was like 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks away. But this is the mantra, is that we live in a lawless country. Listen to your white nationalist evangelical preachers. They'll preach it that way, that we live in a lawless country, and that's the problem. And all of us pinheads out here don't understand that it takes a great man like Donald Trump to come in and take care of it by basically suspending due process. Okay, that's the bottom line. Unfortunately, the remedy to that situation is to impeach Trump and kick him out of office and forbid him from ever entering that office again, or an act of God where he is removed by act of God. So that's a problem, because the road to impeachment and then of conviction in an impeachment trial is extremely high. You know, Trump lost the first two impeachments that he was in. He actually in the second impeachment, there were 53, I think, senators that voted for him. So he lost the trial. But the threshold in the Constitution is that it has to be 2/3 of the Senate. And there's just no foreseeable way of that happening. But that's where we are right now. The Fifth Amendment and the 14th Amendment. You need to read those amendments. Everything is predicated on those amendments. The 14th Amendment's there because of the Civil War and slavery, and making sure that the freed slaves and anybody who's born in this country or comes into this country and goes through legal means of naturalization or resident citizen, a resident alien, has due process in anything that's being done. You don't show up with Christy Meow Gnome with an automatic weapon pointed at the head of the guy next to her, idiot, and show up and put a bunch of people in a van and deport them to a prison in El Salvador, and then pay the dictator down there money to take these prisoners, and then start talking about how you're going to deport other people who maybe are actually not even resident aliens but full-fledged citizens. That's the scary part. Okay, so a little college professor here today, but 3 hours and 45 minutes. Who wants to watch to the end of that? I hope you do, because it's important to understand that. But yeah, it's a shit show, and the solutions are either he gets impeached, or God, or whatever your belief system is, something, the universe intervenes. Okay, that's it. Otherwise, this is just going to keep going on, and ignoring the Supreme Court and doing whatever he wants. And he's got some real flippin' Nazis in his group here. Stephen Miller, God, where do they find this guy? Christy Meow, and then of course everybody's favorite, presidential press poodle puppy Bubbles LaRue, come out and talk like a flippin' 14-year-old idiot at a junior high school debate. Okay, that's it. Wisdom Tree Trail, signing out.